Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Reaction Nexus. Today we'll be reacting to Raven Black's Still Healing. Um, I love the Raven Black. They're one of my favorite bands ever, and I'm enjoying reacting to their videos. The thing is, they're not getting the numbers they need for my to keep reacting to them. Um, so this might be one of the last times for a while that you see them, but they will come back because I will force them to come back because I like them and I like listening to their music. They're actually the last video did pretty well. So yeah, I'm enjoying them. I hope you guys are too. I know there's not. Uh, yeah, the last video got as many views as the rest of them put together have, so it's done really well, and I'm super happy for them. Just so you know, at the end of the video, there is a segment called in the timestamps will be called system, where I will explain how the system is going to work in terms of this channel. It's a very complex system. It's a very nuanced system. So if you're interested in learning about it, you can. Otherwise, just keep watching, watching, and liking and subscribing. That's all you need to do. That basically helps what I have planned. So, um, without further ado, if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to see more, ring the notification bell. In the description will be a link to the original video, as well as the Raven Black playlist. I will see you all in the video. Let's get to it. Alright, Raven Black, still here at healing. I have timer set for a minute. You guys know what that means. Raven Black, I don't generally have an issue with it, but it still helps. Helps me stay consistent. So without wasting any more time, let's get going. 3, 2, 1. I love this song. The song is awesome. It has such a good beat to it. It has a good rhythm to it, as does most of the songs that they have. Um, but yeah, they're a good band. I uh, and, like I would love to own something from them, own merch. I'm gonna try to find merch from them. Pay it for it. Give them some money. They deserve it. They need it. I don't think they need. They deserve it. That's the word I'm looking for. So let's keep going, shall we? 3, 2, 1, go. You let me drown. You let me down. I'm still feeling. Somehow I always knew my conscience. It did warn me you're selfish. It was proof after all that you would leave. After all that we've been through. After you took all you need. Somehow I always knew, but I wanted to believe. You let me fall. You let me drown. You let me down. I'm still feeling. They have a good riff. That's a good beat, and it's a good vocals. Just the intensity. I think one of the issues they have is they're very much of a niche band. They're a dark horror themed band. So unless you like the dark stuff, you're not gonna like like think about who the biggest black metal band of all time is, and that's maybe Dima Borgir. Um, their popularity is not high. Bands like this have a ceiling when it comes to popularity. I think they should. I think bands like this should be a lot more popular than they are, because how popular horror movies are. This is just a horror movie with. This is just horror movie in song form. That's all it is, and I love it. I'm enjoying it. All right, let's go to the end, shall we? All right, Raven Black. Let's get to the review, shall we? All right, that's Raven Black with the song "Still Healing" from the Seven Sins album. They're an underground metal band. They're very good. Like I said, because this channel it's not views driven. I'm not after views, but I do need to prioritize bands that get more views, and this band doesn't get the views that is required to stay for long term. But because I like the band so much, they will return. I am planning that by October. In October, I'll bring them back and do special things involving their band because I think they're a good band for October. I think they're a great Halloween themed band, and that's something that I'm gonna push for, and I'm gonna be the flag carrier for. But yeah, I'm gonna look to getting some merch from them, buying some, and paying it forward because I love the music that much. And if you like this video, by the way, at the end of this video, you know about it in the timestamps. There will be a thing called system, and it's going to explain to you. It's going to be a 5, 6, maybe 7 minute long thing. I know it's long. It's a complex system of how this channel works and how I decide who I react to and when I react to. You guys can, and by the way, it's based solely on you guys of how it works. So, without further ado, if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you want to see more, ring the notification bell. In the description will be a link to the original video as well as the Raven Black playlist. Till next time, goodbye, everybody. All right, everybody, this is the explanation video. It will be posted. It will be at the end of every video I upload this week. So the way this is gonna work, okay? You guys don't know. I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but I upload 4 times a week or 4 days a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Okay. On every day, I upload at noon, 3:15, 6:30, 9:45. So it has a 3 hour and 15 minute space in between each upload. Okay. If you've noticed, the bands at noon and 6:30 have been consistent, while the bands at 3:15 and 9:45 have fluctuated, and that's how it's going to work. So, the bands at noon and 6:30 are put into a pool, okay, where after a week their numbers are locked, and I calculate them and I organize them based upon who's performed the best and who hasn't. The top 4 bands will move on to the next cycle. The next cycle, you won't. When I say next cycle, it's a cycle is 4 weeks. So the fourth 4 weeks roughly after the video air, the 4 after this week, you will see the results of the cycle. So, like I said, the bands at noon and 6:30 are put into a pool to claim the 4 noon slots for the next cycle. For the next segment part of the cycle, right? Meanwhile, and by the way, it changes each week, right? So this week will affect the week that a week affect part of the cycle that happens 4 weeks from now, right? Next week will affect the cycle that part of the cycle that happens 4 weeks from now. So, and then the way it also works is the band. So the bands at 3:15 are all bands that have been selected from a list of artists that I have that are similar to the band at noon. I look up bands that are similar. If you have a recommendation for me, I put them on the list based upon the video you reacted to. And then at 9:45, the band at 9:45 is always based upon the band at 6:30. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. So the band at 3:15 is always based upon the band that's at 12 noon. The band at 9:45 is always based upon the band that's at 6:30. But here's the kicker. So I told you that the 6:30 and noon bands all get put into a pool, and the top 4 move on, become in the next cycle, and become the top 4 bands, and then the 4 bands that represent the noon cycle. You're saying, so what about the 6:30 cycle? What happens to those bands? That is what I do to the 6:30 and noon bands, I do to the 3:15 and 9:45 bands. I put them in a group, and I keep them in a separate thing. And if the top 4 from that group moves on to the 6:30. So what happens is at noon, you will always see a band that is consistent, right? That is always performing well, that is always doing well on this channel, that you guys want to see, and I want to see. At 3:15, you will always see a band that is similar to one of the noon bands, that has been recommended to me because of the noon band, is on my list because of the noon band, but is always there because of them. And then at 6:30, you will always see a band that I have discovered through another group that has been given a bigger spotlight at 6:30. They've been given a second week, and normally the 6:30 is when they get their playlist, when they get their full representation on the channel as a band. And then at 9:45, same thing at 3:15, but for the 6:30. So at 9:45, the band at 9:45 will be similar to the 6:30. The way this all sums up, and it sounds crazy and it sounds odd, and I will post something that might help you guys better. I'll figure out something to post that might help you better. But the way to figure this all out, the way to summarize it, is your stuff matters. The way you can tell me if you want to see a band more, other than just telling me upright, is making sure you watch the videos, you like, you comment, and you share the videos so you can get other people to like and comment. If you really want, so this week, one of the bands I have is Anchor. They're coming in on Friday. If you really want Anchor to succeed and make it further onto this channel, your voice needs to be heard. I need to see views, I need to see likes, comments, all that. And I think that's how all channels work. But I'm giving you the ultimate. You have the steering wheel of this channel. That's the best way I can describe it. I know I described it in a long-winded way. I know you guys think I'm annoying, but like I said, you don't have to watch this part. So, without further ado, that'll be the end of this part. This will be put at the end of every video that I upload from this week. Again, it's at the end, so you don't have to watch it. Till next time. Goodbye, everybody.